So this is going to be fast and furious. We're going to barcode your entire operation in 10 minutes. So let's dive right in. First thing of note is I promise I will not read screens. If I did, we'd probably be on this one for the full 10 minutes. But I know a lot of you will review this on a recording basis, so you may want to pause this and just read a little bit more about us. The long and the short is we've been around for over 20 years. We actually grew out of Sage 100. It was a 100 client that said, hey, you want to scan barcodes? Something was written for them, and it's grown exponentially over multiple decades. And now we have over 10,000 users running on the platform. Sage has actually asked us to take our 100 product and expand that out over, we're now implementing or getting ready to launch our 4th offering in the Sage world. So we continue to grow in and around Sage. But 100 was our core. That's where we got started. So let's look at the basics of what we offer. First of all, what does WMS mean? Well, that's Warehouse Management System. Basically, in short, that's barcoding your inventory, okay? We have 3 different versions we call Core, Select, and Premier that have different levels of functionality based on your needs. If you have any interest in talking about barcoding, the first thing you would do is reach out to your MicroAccounting rep. They will get in touch with me, and we'll have a one-on-one conversation, or actually, I guess, 1-on-3 between the 3 parties, and we'll talk about your needs, your hopes and dreams, everything that you want to accomplish, the problems that you're having today, the things that you'd like to get better at. And I will help you determine which one of these 3 versions makes the most sense for you in your world. Okay, now down below that, label printing. What good would a barcoding system be if we didn't have barcodes to scan? A lot of people come to me and say, I'm not sure barcoding is going to work because my vendors don't barcode stuff, or everybody barcodes different, it's all different standards. But that's okay. I promise I've been in the barcoding world for over 25 years, and I can help walk you through that. We, ScanForce, have our own label printing solution that's part of our warehouse management system, so we can print these labels on demand. Over on the right-hand side, manufacturing. If any of you are into manufacturing, we support bill of materials, production management, more on that later, and don't tell Sage, but we still support legacy work order, okay? Then up at the top, mobile sales. This is a completely separate application from the warehouse management system. It's not what I'm going to focus on today, but I'll touch on it very briefly. If you have users that are either at a will call desk and need to enter quotes and orders, or go to a trade show where you want to process quotes and orders, or outside sales reps that visit customers and you want them to be able to enter quotes and orders, we can do that through a tablet or a phone, just like you're connected to Sage with all the pricing and inventory levels and all that stuff that's still built in. But now let's drill into the WMS a little bit deeper. What I want to do first is talk about the sort of the highlight features of warehouse management systems, some of the things that they can do. Now, bear in mind, like I said in the onset, we have 3 different versions or functional additions of our product. So some of these features are in some, not in others. So you may look at what I'm about to show you and say, well, that doesn't apply to me, so maybe ScanForce isn't a good fit. Not at all. Because we do have the 3 versions, there's a version that fits everyone's needs and budget. So let me just talk about some of the higher end functionality, and then when we have that one-on-one conversation, we'll drill down into specifics of what you need. Okay, the first is multi-bin. Now, you know that Sage gives you 1 location code for every item code, and that's not realistic for a lot of people in the modern warehouse. So we wrote this multi-bin solution, and in conjunction with DSD, which you know is a big programming house in the Sage world, a lot of you may be using their multi-currency or stuff like that. So it's a product that we provide that's an overlay on top of Sage inventory. This is not running in ScanForce, this is actually running inside Sage. So when you're in item inquiry, just like this screen right here, you can drill down inside a warehouse and look at all the places that we call bins where you might store inventory and all the quantity that might be there as well. Okay, we can even drill down to the pallet level. I've got 10 on one pallet, 15 on another. Okay, and this gives you that real granular view of your inventory. Okay, so now that we know that we can potentially have the same thing in more than one place, we can use a function that we call auto allocations. When you hear the term allocation, think reservation. So imagine you enter a sales order, and let's say you've got some stuff, and I know that some of you have things that expire, have expiration dates. Other of you may have, metal that never expires. But in most warehouses, a lot of people still want to run a FIFO environment, first in, first out. So you want to get the oldest stuff out first, even if it's not a type of situation where it might expire like food service. In that situation, because we have multi-bin functionality and capability, We can track the age of the products in the bins. We know when things were received and when things were put in one bin or another. So when you enter a sales order, we can direct the user and say, the place that we need to pick this from is one specific bin. We can create a reservation or an allocation for that quantity for the sales order on a particular place. Now, then how do we communicate that to the warehouse? Well, that comes through what we call directed picking. On the handheld, imagine a gun type scanner that the user has in their hand with a screen on it. We can say, if you're picking the first line item on this order, you need to go to this place. See where the guy's pointing? It's down aisle A, rack 3, shelf 2. So that's the location where the oldest stuff is for line item 1 on this order. So we're going to direct the user to all of those places in turn. Okay. Now, shifting gears a little bit, I did mention manufacturing onset. We support bill of materials. We support production management. I'm not going to belabor these in a 10-minute format, but if you are into manufacturing, just know that we have a handheld component that will tie into whatever Sage manufacturing module you're using, and we can allow you to input the data on the handheld and have that flow directly into Sage. Okay. Now, this is my favorite part of the presentation. What's hot right now? I love benchmarking in general, okay? Benchmarking is what are other Sage 100 users doing or thinking or asking about? Maybe I should be asking those exact same questions. So these are some of the things that we are seeing a lot of interest in the Sage 100 market. One of them is order assignment. You can pick tickets and have users go and pick those, or we can provide this order assignment, which is a digital thing on a dashboard where you can see all of your orders and all of your pickers. You can drag and drop, and you can put one big order against one guy and then 3 smaller orders against somebody else and balance the work orders. You can also prioritize them and say, somebody's coming to get this, we need to get it out the door first. So it just allows you to digitally assign orders through a dashboard that flow directly to the handheld, okay? Another thing is Starship integration. If you're a Starship user, this one is an absolute no-brainer. Imagine a world where users would scan items into boxes and then Starship labels instantly print out. Users never have to go and log into Starship and request their labels. We, ScanForce, ping them behind the scenes and say, here's all the data, I'm ready for my labels, please print them out for me, okay? Another one, license plating. I mentioned pallets earlier. If you have side loaders, pallet jacks, forklifts, we need to talk about license plating. You could put a bunch of stuff on one pallet. We're going to print a license plate barcode to go on the outside of the shrink wrap, and it can sit there for a day or a week or a month. Then we scan one barcode. Everything inside the shrink wrap ships out of Sage instantly. It's the classic touch it once and not have to touch it, multiple times scenario. Okay. Another one is image capture. With image capture, we allow you to do just what this person's doing. See, they've packed this, I don't know if it's a truck or a container or whatnot, but they're taking a picture to show that it's pristine. So if it's damaged on the other end, they can pull up that image and say, well, this is what it looked like when it left our dock. So I call this the CYA application for good reason. This is also available on the inbound side. So if you have goods that come in or damaged, using the scanner that they're used to, scan boxes in and out all day long, we can take a picture, it gets saved in Sage, and the name of the image is either the PO number or the sales order number with a counter, so we can take multiples of each, okay? Makes it really easy to find those as we go, okay? Last one that I'll mention is specifically about production management. I talked about manufacturing in brief earlier, but specifically with production management, ScanForce is pushing the realms of the envelope for PM further than it's ever been pushed before. We've actually released 6 enhancements on top of production management to make your life much easier. Things like make to order. If you enter a sales order and it's something you need to make, ScanForce can automatically create the work ticket in production management for you. It removes one step all the way through. We can dilute labor. If you have people working on multiple things simultaneously, we can dilute their labor and have it automatically calculate their time. So there's a lot of these. It's very in-depth. I'd love to have an individual conversation with you to talk about which of these might apply in your world, okay? Last but not least, our support. We think we have the very best support in the Sage 100 world. You have unlimited contact to us via email or phone call to get your questions answered. And over the course of an entire year, we did a time study and we found that the average time to respond to a request was 26 minutes, which means half the time we're doing it faster than that. And by the way, that response is not an email that says, we got your message, we'll get back to you a week from Tuesday. That's an actual human on the phone with you or replying to your email, fixing whatever the issue is for you, okay? All right, so my time is about up. So I'm going to throw up a quick little ending slide here. You'll see that email info@ScanForce that comes to me and every member of my team. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to us directly, but I would strongly encourage you to reach out to whoever your rep is at MicroAccounting, and they can reach out to me, give me a little bit of the lay of the land, a little bit of history, and then we can set up that introductory call.